Oh, great. All right. I think I'm live. I don't know if anyone's going to join because, oh, didn't announce this. It's not my normal thing. But I wanted to go live mainly for myself to document what squash are so, fresh that I harvested this past fall, 2025. I'm trying to keep track of the ones that are storing the best. Also understanding if I cured them properly, if I'm storing them properly. I had them, well, yeah, most of them were out on my screen porch for around the same amount of time. Though again, I've been video documenting everything so I can go back, have a look to see when I recorded it and where it was. Um, But I think for the most part, I did pretty good. I already definitely know there's some things um, that I need to do a little bit differently when I'm trying to store these squash. But I just wanted to have like a stamp for myself to look back at to see what's what at this stage. So it's February the 20th, 2026. Most of these were harvested in September and October of 2025. So I'm going to start. I have some on the table here. I'm still, I got to figure out this live stream on the phone, the StreamYard. I think I set the orientation up wrong, but that's okay. So I have a bunch here on the table that I'm going to pull out, starting with the big girl. So I still have my Big Max pumpkin. When I weighed her, she's still heavy. She was about 34 pounds. And she's still going strong. She's still heavy. Um, but I should say most of these I'm going to go ahead and probably over the next week or two start to actually process them because it's time for me to start saving my seeds. I mean, not saving my seeds, starting my seeds for the outdoor garden. And I'm growing tons more things this year, particularly flowers and things like that for my perennial flower beds. I'm starting them from seed and I'm starting a lot. And so I need all my shelf space. And so I also did notice that I started losing a couple, like this one here. Um, and again, I think she wasn't cured properly. And so I'm starting to lose her. I can feel she's starting to feel a little funny. I'm going to cut her open and see what's going on in there. I have another one down here that's still fine and hard. And they just feel very different. So again, this was a lot about learning and figuring out which varieties not just grow the most abundantly, but also store the best for me. So yeah, so that was a Big Max pumpkin. I have two of these. This is, again, a lot of these I don't remember the proper name off the top of my head, so I'm not going to be speaking that, but of course I have videos and pictures where I've documented it in the past, but this is that typical Cinderella kind of pumpkin. Still have two of those. Well, I only harvested two, and I still have them. So this is one. This was the first one to grow, and it was fully ripened when I harvested it. This is the second one that grew, and she was still kind of mostly green when I harvested it, and she ripened and cured inside. And I can feel it's kind of like almost sugary wax coating. I think that's when it's like evaporating its moisture, and so I need to I need to cut into her and preserve her, cook her. So that's what I think. I'm going to go over the ones that are on the table real quick. This one I think is my very last of a variety of crown pumpkin that I harvested. She was like a little baby. And again, I took her indoors before she was fully ripe, and she's still hard and firm. So I know this is a really long storing pumpkin or squash. And I have another one here. Two of them have already been consumed. But I mean, this cured nicely. And it's a strawberry crown. It's a strawberry crown squash. So yeah, I was excited about that one. Also on the table, I'm pretty sure these both, though they confuse me, because this might actually be another one of these, but I'm going to cut open and see. The inside will tell me what it is. I think these are definitely, this one should be a new squash variety that I grew this year that's actually brown. It's like a chocolate squash on the interior. So I can't wait to cut this open and share that. Yeah, it's gonna be really fun to see. This here is another big, beautiful squash. I've already eaten one of these. This is an Italian squash. Very, very rare, huge squash. We've already eaten one. This is the last one, and you can see here, I showed this throughout the growing season. It had kind of gotten caught in my fencing. And so it kind of left this mark, this indentation, but that's okay because it did not interfere with the storing. That was the one thing I was worried about, but it did not, and it's fully ripened and cured. It starts green, and it was green throughout the growing season when I showed it in all my videos. So this is awesome. And I weighed all these. I think that my last harvest video, I still haven't even edited and put out yet, but I did weigh all of these things. So theoretically, I could go back and weigh it and see if it's lost a lot of moisture or not, but I can feel that it's still very firm, very heavy. And this is the last one on the table. This is an Iranian squash, and it's massive also, and so beautiful. And it's been looking exactly like this. This looks exactly how it does also on the Baker Creek packet. And so, yeah, thrilled to try this one. That plant only yielded one of these, but she's a big, heavy, massive beauty and just storing incredibly well. Like, I'm so excited with how well these winter squash have stored. Now, most of the squash that I grow is summer squash, and that's been eaten or preserved, obviously. Um, but last year I did grow a really good amount of winter squash for storage. I would say the plant that yielded the most fruit by far was the Seminole pumpkin squash. And I still have, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 of those left. And they're all unchanged, firm, just stored incredibly. I'm probably going to leave 1 or 2 of these. I probably won't process all of these. I have this one. This is some kind of butternut, a baby butternut variety. Again, just stores incredibly well. This is the biggest Seminole pumpkin. And what I did, let's see here. I mean, this is so beautiful. She was still putting out fruit at the end of the season. There were probably like 4 or 5. I shared it in the video again. I don't know if I released that video, but of course then our frost hit. But this was a very productive variety, and I will be putting out multiples of this plant for sure. It just yielded so much food from one plant. It was incredible. And look at how well it's growing. I think just productivity and storability, yeah, this will stay in my garden. And I want to note here, some of you that might look at this, if you look up what a Seminole pumpkin looks like, and even on the packet, it looks different than this. They're usually like wider and squatter, closer to this Cinderella pumpkin, but without the, the grooves in there. Um, and I was a little bit confused also the first time I grew it, and I saw this shape. But this is the shape you get when you grow it how I grow it, which is vertically. If you grow it on the ground, like most people normally grow pumpkins and winter squash, then it will have that flattened kind of pumpkin shape. But when you grow it vertically, it will have this teardrop shape. And I think that's the same with another variety I grew. So sometimes the shape will change depending on if you're growing it on the ground versus vertically. So make note of that when you're, I actually traced the vine all the way back to the source in the soil with the tag. I'm a tagger, and that's kind of why I tag, because I grow so much new stuff. And it's like, so many things can look the same. And especially when you've never grown it before, how are you supposed to know? Sometimes the packet shows it when it's immature or when it's overripe. And then I did the Google search and read more about it, and was like, oh, okay. And I have some really, really rare seed vault varieties. And when I look at the picture that they show for them, they'll be all different kind of shapes. And I always wonder, like, why is the same squash? And that it depends on, like, if it grew up something and hung down, it'll have more of a teardrop shape. So same with my Kusha melon. My Kusha melons, because I grew them vertically, they have more of this kind of teardrop shape. I have one white Kusha left. This is going to be the first one I cut into, because I'm storing these in a place where I wasn't seeing them every day. And that's also something I have to change. I don't think she's too far gone, but she needs to be consumed before she goes bad. And then on this shelf here, again, I think this is another one of those strawberry crown image, it was like a small one. I grew a lot of red curry squash, and we've been eating those. I have some cooking videos that I've recorded where I've already cooked some of these things, and eventually I'll get those edited. Not sure if I'm going to put them on the gardening channel or on the cooking channel, Cooking at Home with Cherie, we'll see. But I have one red curry squash left. And the first year I grew these, I think I got like 2. This past year, I put it in a different location, and I put it out at a different time, and I got a ton. So I've made note of that timing, and we'll be making sure, and I will be growing probably like 4 of these plants. This is one of me and my husband's favorite winter squash that I grew. First of all, it's beautiful inside and out, and it's absolutely delicious. So there's that. I showed you down there these 2. This is a kind of a black Japanese pumpkin, and this is a different black Japanese pumpkin. Look at how black that got. This was a really late growing one, and so I've made note of my timing of when I should put this out, because I would love to get more of both of these. I have one blue Hubbard squash left. This one also is like, kind of seems like it's on its verge, and so I'm going to cook this today also. I grew several of these, and that one plant, I think it put out maybe like 5 fruit, but there were 2 of them that were kind of hidden, and I didn't see that a critter had gotten to it, because it was like it had grown out on the ground in a different direction. And so I will have to make sure I protect these, because the other ones that I got were much bigger. This plant gave me a lot of food, a lot of food. So that's going on the list Uh, I'm probably going to regrow all of these that I'm showing actually. This here, I have 4 of these left. This is that baby honey nut squash, and I showed this also throughout the growing season. This starts very dark green, and then it ripens to this beautiful orange. And so I have several of these left, and some of them are still quite firm. A couple of them are quite soft, and so yeah, I'll have to watch how I store those. I don't know if it was a curing issue or if they just don't last long. The last thing I have, well, I have more of these. This is it's a squash that I grew and mostly ate as a summer squash. It's one of my favorite summer squashes, the tatume. And it's one that you can actually allow to mature to a winter squash also. So I did that with a few once they got big. And so I still have 3 of these. That's the largest one. So this is storing also really well. Then the last 2, this is the pink banana melon, and I harvested several of these. This is my last one. I've roasted some of this and put it in the freezer, and I'm probably gonna freeze dry this one so I can just powder it and have it for a soup. But this is my 3rd year, I think, 4th year growing this, and this year was the best year. And again, a lot of it was like repositioning where I grew these squash, I think made a big difference in my yields this year. So this is definitely a keeper, and it just keeps for a long time. So we are September, October, November, December, January, February. So we're like 5 months in on these squash. And they're still going really strong. And this is one of my favorite ones. Also the Gaité, I forget the name, but this is probably one of the most delicious squashes that I've ever had. And I definitely want to have more of these plants also. It's so beautiful. So, so beautiful. And we've already eaten several of these. And again, I have some of these roasted and in the freezer. Awesome. So that is it. I just wanted to come in and document the status of the squash. Yeah, at this point, just to have a live about it, and then I'm going to be doing some recorded videos as I'm cutting into these and preserving them. And I will have the ones that I can't remember the names out. We'll talk about those then, because yeah, I got to go through my hundreds of varieties of squash seeds to see what I'm going to grow this year. And so, yeah, that's it. I'm just recording this. If you stop in and you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And yeah, that's it. Bye.